Brookhaven police need your help finding this man right here. They say he's accused of stealing copper wires. He's 36-year-old Michael McKay. Well, they are on the lookout for him because many thieves have stolen hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of copper wiring in recent months, and it could leave you without internet or phone service. Atlanta News First reporter Justin Berger is live near Claremont and Briarwood Road where this theft happened. And Justin, how bad is the damage there?
Yeah, Tracy, it's pretty significant. Take a look. This is what these wires look like up and down the Northeast Expressway. Fortunately, AT&T tells us customers have not been impacted here. Police suspect the thief was after the copper wire inside of these big cables. It's the latest scheme from criminals to profit off the pricey metal inside. The Brookhaven Police Department showed us this, about 120 cable pieces, most of them 2 to 4 feet in length, full of copper wiring, and a target for crime.
That's why we suspect it was more targeting cable or copper theft within that cable.
Tonight, they want to find Michael McKay, who's facing charges of 2 felonies connected with these cables. Investigators tell Atlanta News First they spotted an abandoned U-Haul at a nearby apartment complex that was still running. On the inside and around the truck, they say they found all that cable along with tools used to cut it.
So here in Brookhaven, this is one of the first experiences that we've seen with actual cable wire being cut from utility lines. So it's not a common trend that we've seen.
Stealing the copper from inside of these cables is the latest scheme from criminals to profit off the pricey metal inside. In the past, thieves have targeted AC units, but between June of 2024 and June of 2025, a joint industry report shows more than 15,000 incidents involving theft or sabotage targeting communication networks. In the past 6 months, AT&T says around $500,000 worth of cable has been stolen along this side of the expressway in DeKalb County. In a statement, an AT&T spokesperson says in part, quote, "Copper theft and vandalism of communications infrastructure are serious criminal matters that disrupt services for our customers, public safety, and the community at large. We're actively working with local law enforcement as they investigate to find those responsible." Now, the joint industry report says stronger oversight of scrap metal dealers and tougher penalties for thieves could help de-incentivize metal thefts like this. Now, if you recognize Michael McKay, contact Greater Atlanta Crime Stoppers. We are live in Brookhaven in DeKalb County. Justin Berger, Atlanta News First.